Appreciate everybody being here today for this press conference. When we have good news to share, we want to share it as widely as possible. There's been a lot of not so good news in the news lately, and we have some good news today. I know that you are aware that you're going to be hearing from Senator Cornyn in just a few minutes, but I wanted to introduce some other folks who are standing with me up here. We have, of course, Senator Cornyn's wife, Sandy Cornyn, who is always engaged in these kinds of activities, and we appreciate her being here. Dr. Daniel Garner, who's the president and CEO of Houston Forensic Science Center. See, there you are. And Dr. Irma Rios, Forensic Analysis Division Director of the Houston Forensic Science Center. Rebecca White, President, CEO, Houston Area Women's Center. Sonia Corrales, Chief Program Officer, Houston Area Women's Center. Barbie Brashear, Executive Director, Harris County Domestic Violence Coordinating Council. Amy Smith, Deputy Director, Harris County Domestic Violence Coordinating Council. Dr. Sally Awad, Medical Director, Memorial Hermann Forensic Nurse Response Team. And Jamie Farrell, Clinical Director, Memorial Hermann Forensic Nurse Response Team. I'm also joined by Matt Slinkard, Assistant Chief of Police, Houston Police Department. Scott Hochberg, Chairman, Houston Forensic Science Center and former state representative. And Lavinia Masters, Spokesperson, Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, or RAIN. And Councilmember Jack Christie. One of the things about Texas and Texans is that when we see a problem, we try to address it, and we try to address it in a straightforward manner. And while we're always happy to have help, we're willing to step up and do what we can to address the situation with whatever tools are available. The City of Houston had a decades, and I repeat that, decades-long problem of a growing backlog of untested sexual assault kits. We stood up in June of 2012 in the midst of the recession, in the midst of a very difficult economic time for the City of Houston, and said, enough is enough, we have to address this problem. We also, at that time, took another significant step, and we said, part of the reason that this backlog has grown is that the forensic science work we do is sometimes an afterthought, and that the first priority is making criminal cases, not necessarily getting the best scientific data independent of whatever prosecution may be happening. And we took a historic step in creating an independent crime lab, independent of police, independent of prosecutors, and independent of political influence. The money we set aside to address the sexual assault kit backlog, $2.2 million of the city budget. But fortunately, we made this commitment, and at the same time, in working with Senator Cornyn, there were federal dollars set aside. So ultimately, we had $4.4 million set aside here in the city of Houston for addressing untested sexual assault kits. That essential funding made it possible for the city of Houston to send every mothballed sexual assault kit, everything sitting on a shelf, out for testing. And in a one-year period, we were able to knock down, again, inventory that had accumulated over decades. These tests can help exonerate those who have been wrongly convicted. They can help convict those who have gone unpunished. 6,600 kits later, We have many of those results, and Matt Slinkard, Assistant Chief of Police, can address that side of what we're doing. But more importantly, 6,600 kits later, we're in a position where we will never allow that to happen again. And thanks to the work of Senator Cornyn and thanks to these federal grants, other cities across the United States have the ability to step up and do the same thing we have done and make a difference. I want to stress how important it is to have continued assistance through Debbie Smith Reauthorization Act. I want to thank Senator Cornyn for his leadership and pushing for the reauthorization, including pushing for a vote in committee and also calling it up for a vote on the Senate floor. These dollars make an absolute difference in the criminal justice system and in the lives of individual victims who want closure. In honor of Domestic Violence Month, with our partners at the Houston Area Women's Center, tomorrow I'm going to proclaim October 7th as Wear Purple Day. I encourage you to join us in wearing purple, in talking to your friends and your neighbors about the importance of addressing domestic violence and raising awareness. But I also encourage you to help spread the word that we're serious about ending rape. And for someone who has been raped, we want every woman to come forward and seek justice, and we stand ready to help. Well, I'm proud that the City of Houston stepped up. I'm proud that the City of Houston set the standard that the rest of the state now has to follow, and I'm proud that Senator Cornyn stood up for the entire United States of America and made these dollars available for jurisdictions across the United States where hundreds of thousands of untested sexual assault kits have languished on shelves for many decades. So this is another big step forward. Thank you for being here. Thank you for helping us spread the word.